Gauteng schools are ready to open next as the country moves to level 3 of the lockdown. MEC for Education Panyaza Lesufi gave an overview of the provincial schools' readiness. SABC journalist Nozintombi Miya spoke to him.
The Gauteng Education MEC, Mr. Panyaza Lesufi, gave a briefing to the Gauteng Command Council with regards to school readiness in the province. And he joins me now with regards to what interventions and measures have been put in place to ensure the safety of not just students but educators and support staff that will be heading back to the schools from next week. Thank you so much for joining me, MEC. MEC, you spoke quite eloquently with regards to the interventions put in place. What interventions have you spoken about?
Well, it's very important that we practice safety first. Our approach is that everything must be safe before we can allow learners to come to our schools. We must PPEs in all aspects. We must ensure the schools are sanitized and schools are clean. We must also ensure that the scholar transport as well as the school nutrition is ready, and then provide what we call medical support. Medical support will come in terms of general practitioners that are doctors that are procuring to come and visit our schools. The Department of Health is releasing almost 155 nurses to come and support us as well. And we're also releasing almost 10,000 young people that will volunteer in our schools, that will ensure that they do the screening. They also compile the data that we need, and they will ensure that learners observe social distancing. This is the kind of support and the readiness that we have put in place in Gauteng. Obviously, schools will be at different levels. There will be schools that will be ready at a high level. There will be schools that will be ready averagely. There will be schools that will be struggling. We want to provide support to those schools that are struggling, especially schools that might have challenges of water and sanitation. Even though we're bringing techs, we're also bringing mobile toilets in some of the schools that are struggling. But there might be those schools that the infrastructure is old or the infrastructure is broken because we have 7 weeks where schools are not operational.
We've seen that the teacher unions have expressed concern with regards to the PPEs, specifically for the educators. What PPEs will the educators be physically using? And you also spoke a little bit about the education in the first week that the learners will be receiving with regards to how to use their masks and sanitizers. Just talk to us a little bit more about those particular issues.
Every teacher will get a cloth mask, a bar soap, and every staff room will have sanitizers that the teachers can utilize. Every classroom will also have sanitizers, and that are going to provide additional support in terms of the coveralls for teachers that are teaching in the LSN space, and also to ensure that those that are general assistants, they're also getting the PPEs that we've indicated. So the support cut across. There's PPEs for teachers in class, the PPEs for SMTs, there's also PPEs for general assistant staff, as well as those that are cooking food for our children. We have released the PPEs yesterday for all 7 districts. Today and tomorrow, concluding the remaining 5 districts, and we remain hopeful that by Monday, everyone will have all this kind of support. Indeed, day one is not going to be day one of teaching. It's going to be day of protocols, what people normally call orientation, where learners will be told what to do and what not to do, how to interact with teachers, how to interact with other learners, when to eat and when it's break. Gone are the days where all of them will go out of break at the same time. They will go break per class so that the environment is safe. And every time they submit a textbook to a teacher, they need to sanitize first. And every time the teacher submits a textbook back to the learner, the teacher needs to sanitize. So they are going to be taken through those protocols. That you can't borrow a ball pen, you can't borrow a ruler, you can't borrow a rubber. You have to bring all those things. And if you don't have them, there is a special teacher that we call COVID-19 coordinator, who will ensure that the LTSM, that is your textbook, your stationery, your ruler, is available so that it can be individualized rather than be shared.
MEC, aside from the unions, parents have expressed their concern. Are they compelled to bring their children to school if they feel that the school is not safe and sanitary? And what options are available to them?
We've got 4 options. The first option, we call it class contact. That is when learners are brought into a classroom. classroom. The second option we called homeschooling. Homeschooling, it means that you register your child to learn at home. And if you want your child to learn at home, we've now published the regulations or the processes. You go to the school where your child was attending. There will be a form that you fill there. And when after filling that particular form, it will be taken to the district, and the district will take it to head office. Within 7 days, we'll give you a response. If you are capable and okay to teach your own child, and then we'll give you the curriculum that you need to follow. The third option is learners with special needs. Maybe your child has a special sickness and other things, because in this kind of environment, you don't want learners that are sick, so we're providing that particular support. And the last component is online or e-learning, where parents can learn through online, which means when they're at home. The only option that is not there, and we're not going to accept that option, is a parent that say, I'd rather have my child failing rather than going back to school. We really believe that particular parent does not know how long will this COVID be with us. Will it mean even next year, if COVID is still with us, then I must be at home. So we are pleading with parents to choose the 4 options that are available, and the option of not allowing a learner to learn, we really believe is grossly unfair to that learner.
Finally, MEC, the issue of theft in the schools has been a big issue throughout the lockdown, and most recently several PPEs have been stolen. How will you deal with this as learners and staff come back to the school premises?
Indeed, it's an embarrassing situation. We really believe that criminals are now heartless, that they're even stealing something that will protect their own children. But we've been working with the law enforcement agencies. We are happy yesterday that one of our schools was paddled in, and the police managed to track the perpetrators. They arrested them, and they retrieved all the stolen properties that belongs to the school. We'll continue to ask the police to assist us, but also continue to ask the community to support us.
All right. Thank you so much, MEC for Education in Gauteng. Mr. Panyaza Lesufi, talking about the province's readiness to return back to schools. 2,071 schools across the province. Grade 12 and grade 7 learners are expected to start making their way to the schooling premises from next week. With that, it's back to you.